I came from Home Depot. I was with Home Depot since 1999. I worked in the interior design department, was at Department 36, and then moved into the kitchen department. Kitchens and bath were my first love.
That's awesome. So how long have you been with Click Studios then?
I've been here since 2010, since we opened our website doors. Was lured in by this crazy guy, Dan Jones, who came into my kitchen department and asked if I would be interested in coming to work for him on something completely new and different. I jumped at the chance.
Now, what was it like in the early days of Click Studios?
We did everything from the qualifying, answering the phone calls, doing the customer service. If we needed something in the factory, we could run downstairs and say, those rollout trays, can you move them to this position? It was actually really fun and it was exciting. I love those days. Click Studios is so different than the way it used to be when we first started. Patty and I had to answer the phones. We had to do customer service as well as the design and trying to figure out the pricing. What were we going to charge? When we opened our doors, we didn't know what we were doing. We had everybody watching Patty and I. So it was a little intimidating, but we got through it. We didn't know what hours we should be open in the beginning. We didn't know, should we work Saturday? Do we need to work Sunday? And with just two of us, it was hard for us to fall into all of those open slots. But we did. We made it through. And now Click is got a professional project coordinator team that answers the phone. We've got a whole slew of designers. We have the customer service team on the back end that does an amazing job, and our order entry team, as well as logistics. Everybody does a great job. In the beginning, it was just us. Thousands, maybe. I can't even fathom to guess.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't keep track of things like that. I keep track of the beautiful kitchens.
Now, how many think you've sold?
Maybe 20% of those. In the beginning, it was people didn't know what Click was. It was new. In the very beginning, we caught people on the back end of their sale, where they were looking for something cheaper other than the mom and pop stores or the big box stores. Where now we're catching them on the front end, so it's a little bit different. Typically what I will do right now, being such a seasoned designer, a majority of my business is self-generated. I don't take a lot of leads from the project coordinators. When I do get something from them, I will open up what they've sent to me in the email, take a look at all the information, drag that information into my OneNote, and from there I've got the photos, I've got the layout, I've got maybe some of the things the customer's interested in, and then I make a list of what questions I need to ask before I actually do make the phone call. I hate paper. I hate paper. I hate paper. And the reason I hate paper is because I lose paper. It gets shuffled under something and I can't find it, and then the customer calls. I don't like file, I don't like clutter, I don't like mess. So OneNote's nice and easy. I do have tabs. I have my pro customers separated out from my regular customers. A pro customer I may not need as much information as I do from a regular retail customer. I have my OneNote open and I type the notes right in there. I answer them in my OneNote. Customer wants Dayton painted white. Type that in. They may tell me something that's completely different than what I've got already, which is a great way to do that, to go back and review those at some point. I know OneNote's not for everybody, but this works the best for me. would say that my style is pretty casual. I'm not the professional. I've got this list. I do have my list where I know that I can build off of that, whether it's where they're living, some photos that they've sent in, just something that makes it a little bit where I can build my relationship with them.
Now, do you have a specific example of that?
After being here for 7 years, I'd have lots of examples, but one that comes to mind is I had a gentleman that I was working with in Nashville, and last spring when the Minnesota Wild were playing the Nashville Predators, I said, "You aren't by any chance a Predators fan?" He goes, "I am." And I said, "Well, do you still want me to be your kitchen designer?" And he goes, "Yes, I do. I'm okay with that." I think one of the best questions you can ask is, what do you have in mind for your kitchen? Do you have, I ask for pictures all the time, Pinterest pages, house pages, links to those so that I can see, so we can be on the same page.
What are some of the funniest answers that you maybe had from the questions you've asked?
I think one of the funniest situations that I got myself into, there's actually a couple, but one that I recall is I was working with this lady and she wanted this big huge kitchen. We were going to take out this wall. She's going to get Sub-Zero refrigerators and Wolf ranges and all of this kind of stuff. Had the kitchen, told me everything that she wanted. A couple days later I got a phone call from her husband, said, "Don't you dare design her kitchen. We are getting a divorce." Like I said before, I think it's really important that we get on the same page and buy photos, Pinterest. Typically what I will do is send out an initial design after our first conversation and tell them, okay, this is a draft. We are just starting. What I want you to do is tell me what you like and tell me what you don't like.
So how does the topic of budget come up in the conversation? Do you bring it up? Do they bring it up?
I typically don't bring up the topic of budget. I ask them if they have an idea, and a lot of times, I would say probably 70% of the time, people will say, "I don't know, I have no idea." So what I do is I tell them that I'm leading with my best. I will put in your kitchen what I think needs to be there, and if there's something that you don't like, we can take it out. I would much rather start at the top and move backwards and try to go the other way.
How effective has that been in kind of closing sales or started the interest at least?
I think it's very effective because I have people tell me, "Oh, I didn't know that I wanted that. I didn't know that I wanted a 2-drawer base with the multi-storage dividers, but what a great idea." I don't get it as much anymore as I used to in the beginning. I think that because our pricing is what it is. We have a nice quality cabinet for a very good price. I don't make apologies for that. When people ask me, "Well, what is the price of that cabinet?" I will say, "I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to go look it up. Do you want me to look it up for you? I will." But I don't get into the price of each cabinet and what if I did this or that. When I present a design to somebody or a quote to somebody, and if they say, "Well, how can I get this $1,000 less?" It's like, okay, well, let's take out the Lazy Susan. "Oh no, I don't want to take that out." There are ways that we can get the price down, but it's whether or not they want to give up that bell and whistle. I tell people that the biggest trend right now is to go with drawers over doors, where you don't have to open up the doors to get to what's inside of a cabinet. As us baby boomers get older, we don't want to work that hard.
So Jayelynn, what's your opinion when a customer asks you about doing a two-tone kitchen?
I try to steer them away from that. I think that it's too much of a dated look. If somebody wants 2 tones, it would be, if we can have room for an island or a buffet, have that be different than the kitchen. For me, I'm more about timeless design rather than what's trendy. I would much rather give a customer a classic kitchen that's going to last the test of time than something that looks good in 2017.
What's your thought about HGTV programs like Chip and Joanna, Fixer Upper, those type of programs?
I hate shiplap. And I think that there's more to design than just what Joanna Gaines thinks. A white kitchen is nice. It's lovely. That's the majority of what we sell. But we have a lot of other colors or wood species that are just as lovely. Our cherry cider and russet are gorgeous. I wouldn't steer somebody away from doing a wood cabinet and going with a painted just to be Joanna friendly. A good design takes time. And it's okay to tell people that they're going to have to wait a week. I can get the design back to them in a couple days, depending on the season. A lot of times what I will do in my initial conversation with them is they may not have everything that I need, and so I give them homework. You need to collect this. I need to know which appliances you're thinking of if you're going out of the ordinary. Those are the types of things that can buy me some time. What I tell them before I hang up with them is give them an idea that I can have this design back to you next week, I can have this back to you in a couple days. In the email that I send and it may be that I'm waiting for them to send something back to me. I might send an email, don't forget I need the measurement of the window, or don't forget I need what size range you're going to go with. And then what I will do is tell them again when to expect something from me. And in the email that I send them, I'm pretty short and sweet. I don't list bullet points and this is what you need to do and that's what you need to do. I just say, take a look at this, review it in detail. This is our first draft. Get back to me and let me know what we should change. The next thing I will do typically is to take those notes that I've collected in my OneNote and put it into their floor plan so that while it's still fresh in my mind. Put the walls in, maybe not doing the design, but at least having everything all in one spot so that when I'm ready to work on the design that everything's there. Probably drive people crazy that I work with by trying to make fun of everything or trying to make the situations fun. I just try to make the best out of everything, try to make it fun for me and for everybody that's around me. You have to have time to get your inspiration, and maybe you are looking through Pinterest. It's okay to go on the website and look at hows or what's the latest and greatest on Chip and Joanna. A glass of wine when I get home.